Good day, everybody. I want to go over growing, harvesting, and cooking the giant Marconi. And here is a picture of the tag that I got when I bought these plants. So the giant Marconi. Now you can let them sit there and they get red. It'll take a while for them to get red, and I am going to let some of them get red. It does change the flavor profile a little bit once they get red. I kind of like them when I like them both ways, you know. So we're gonna pick a few of these ones that's still green, but this is about as big as I believe these are gonna get. They're just right now you can kind of start to get a little red hue at the bottom. But anyway, for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some. And I also want to go over how I grow them. Once I set the plants out, you know, the little plants out, I go ahead and focus on that plant getting big. I want to let it get about 2 feet big, 2 feet tall, and get about maybe at least a foot wide. Get a lot of good, nice green foliage on it before I allow it to start producing peppers. I pull in the flowers or the blooms I see off of them, and let it just focus on getting big. And that's the attitude you want to have with any pepper plant that grows a large pepper like the giant Marconi or a bell pepper or any large sweet pepper. You want to let that plant focus on getting a good structure to it before you allow it to start putting out blooms and fruit. So I have some new plantings I'm going to show you, and we're going to go over how they start out. Okay, here's 3 fairly new plantings we just planted. They've been in the ground now for probably about a month, so they're a little bit farther behind. So what we've done is we're going to focus on getting these little plants to get some nice growth to them, get at least about 2 feet high and maybe a foot wide, get a lot, like I said, a lot of dark green foliage on it before we allow it to start blooming and putting out peppers. So like I said, we have kept all the blooms pulled off. Any little small peppers we saw forming, have had them pulled off, so we can focus on that plant development. Just make sure you have plenty of organic matter in your soil. You want to increase the nitrates, and you want to increase the minerals that soil has in it. So the way to do that is just to add compost. If you don't have a good rich soil already, like me, I've added compost, mushroom compost to my soil, so it's very rich and healthy. But if you don't have that, you want to add it. Like, you can add manure, cow manure, chicken manure, horse manure, along with a little bit of compost. Just build that area up. That's going to increase your chances of being successful. If you don't have any organic matter in your soil and you just want to use a chemical fertilizer, then you may want to use a fertilizer it just depends on your soil. If you have low nitrogen soil, you may want to use a fertilizer that's kind of high in nitrogen. That first number, you may want to make sure it's a little high. If you got a pretty good soil, balanced soil, then you can just use a balanced fertilizer like a triple 13. We're going to let them get about 2 feet tall. So we got about another 6 inches or so to go. And then we're gonna let them start focusing on putting out some nice peppers. Okay, once you get your plants nice and healthy and they're putting out peppers, you want to maintain the plants. Pepper plants can last many years, if you take really good care of them. And the sweet peppers, pepper plants as a whole are not really prone to pests. They do have an enzyme in them that deters pests from eating into them. Now, sweet peppers like the giant Marconi and bell peppers, they don't have a lot of that enzyme in them, so sometimes they can get invaded by pests. So you kind of gotta just keep an eye on them and just see if you see any evidence of them. So if you see any evidence of worms, feeding worms, or mites, because I got peppers, tomatoes, and squash out here, so sometimes they can try to invade my pepper plants. Then you'll need to do a spray them with a good garden spray. But the good thing about it is that they're not really prone to being invaded by a lot of pests, but you do have to keep an eye on them, and especially with the sweet peppers. And last thing I want to quickly do is just cover harvesting them. So it's very easy to harvest the giant Marconi. You harvest it similar to any other pepper. You'll see how it's growing on that stem, curved in right here. So you want to pull up on it the opposite way and just be real gentle, because you can break off pieces of the plant very easily, because the plant is very easy to break. So you want to pull up and it should snap loose, kind of like a release, and come right off. So there's a really nice one right there. But the reason you don't want to pull it in this direction, the same direction as the plant is growing, because a lot of people who don't know about harvesting peppers they'll eventually do it that way. But it can be hard for it to come loose when you do it that way. So the best thing to do is to pull up on it. And it'll come right off. Just pull it off. So we're gonna harvest a few more of these peppers, and you can stuff them with anything, ground beef. I'm gonna use some ground turkey and just season your ground turkey. I like to season mine with garlic salt, and just dice up a few onions and a little bit of tomato, and just bake it in the oven. You can grill them on the grill. They're just a very good pepper to make stuffed peppers with. So if you haven't grown a giant Marconi, then it's definitely one that you should try. One quick thing I want to add is you do want to support the giant Marconi pepper plant, because the plant can get heavy with peppers, and that the plant, like I said, it can be very fragile. So if you have some bad weather, some windy weather, sometimes it can push them over and damage the plant structure or take branches out, and you want to maintain that plant structure. So you want to, as it gets big like this, you definitely want to support it by putting a cage around it, similar to what you would do with tomatoes. If you don't have any cages, you can just put a tomato stake or some kind of a garden stake down right by the base of the plant, and just attach it with some garden twine. But okay, so we're gonna go inside and cook these. All right, y'all, I'm gonna cook these peppers. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna combine all my ingredients together. I'm just gonna combine my onions into I got ground turkey, and then thought I'd do a little bit different this time. I'm gonna put some taco seasoning in it to give it that taco flavor. So that's my first time doing that, but it should turn out fine. And then I'm going to put in my tomatoes inside the peppers, and then I'm going to show you how I stuff them. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and cut our peppers to stuff them. So what I like to do is just cut down the side, then I cut a little door, and I try to go all the way to the stem part, so I can go ahead and break that seed stem loose at the top. So I got my little door there, and we'll open this up. That's how we'll stuff it. So we're gonna take all this out of there. As you can see, these Marconis don't have a lot of seeds and a lot of guts inside them. They're almost like a hollow pepper, which is why they so good to stuff. So I'm gonna rinse this out right quick. So we're just gonna take our time, and I got my cheese and everything mixed in there, and diced onion and seasoning. So we're gonna stuff it in there. Stuff it all the way to the top. Yep. Yeah, we're not gonna get it too full, even though I do have that quite a bit in there. And then I'm gonna put these are fresh red tomatoes right from my garden. And I didn't mix the tomatoes in there. I'm just gonna, lay them in there so they won't break apart. All right, then I'm gonna lay these on the cookie sheet. And I'm gonna sprinkle just a little bit of cheese on top. Then we're gonna try to we're gonna push it down a little bit. And we're gonna close that door. So I got that one a little too stuffed, so we're gonna not do the other ones quite that big, but that's how it's gonna look. So I'm gonna do all these peppers that way, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, we got our peppers stuffed, and I even had a little bit of the meat left over to stuff one of my bell peppers. We had some nice bell peppers this year. So I am gonna put these in a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and that should be it. And I did all of this with 1 pound of ground turkey. So, all right. All right, there you have it. They're done, and I know they're gonna be good because they just smell wonderful. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching it, and I hope it encourages you to grow this pepper, the giant Marconi. It is a very wonderful pepper. It's fun to grow. It's a beautiful plant, and the best thing about it is they're just a wonderful pepper to eat. You can bake them in the oven. You can grill them on a barbecue grill. You can put them in your smoker. You can stuff them with various things. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe.